I don't really care that Al Green stood up during Trump's speech and decided to make a ruckus and get himself kicked out. Obviously, that was intentional. But here's what I will say. The fact that you had 10 Democrats, and again, the ones who did it are clearly ones with the exception, I believe, of Marcy Kupfer in Ohio. I believe that every Democrat that did this is in a swing district, which should come as no surprise. But 10 Democrats supported the censorship of Al Green. Now,
I can never get past Al Green. Like, to me, when I hear Al Green, I'm hearing like some serious good R&B. You know what I mean? And I know it's a different Al Green. But how do we know that he wasn't, to some extent, and I don't know his record enough. I mean, I know he's pretty decent, but like a lot of this is just very theatrical, right?
Colin,
so would he have done it if they weren't in the minority?
If I may, Colin, please pull up the tweet that I posted a little while ago for us of Al Green. There's a very important common denominator here. Also,
let's get together.
Well, don't forget about Mauskowitz, Glusenkamp, Perez, and Tom Sauzy. He's a real winner, let me tell you. The reason why this was such a big deal is because Al Green decided to make a speech on the House floor earlier today. And what topic did he address that was so significant as to why he decided to interrupt Trump's speech?
Right. What was it?
It was about Medicaid, about cutting Medicaid. And he said that I have the best health care in the world, and I want to give that health care to everybody. Well, Al Green, if anybody knows anything about Al Green, he actually has been a decades-long consistent supporter of universal health care. What should come as no surprise to anybody is that all 10 members of the Democratic Party that voted to censure him do not support universal health care.
What's his district?
He's in Texas.
Okay.
I don't remember which district he's in. I think he's in Houston, if I remember correctly. And the other caveat, which is very interesting, is the fact that all 10 members of the Democratic Party that voted to censure Al Green, they're all heavily funded by AIPAC. So here's what Mr. Green had to say, and we'll bring in Jamie in 1 second.
And I wanted him to know that he didn't have a mandate to cut Medicaid. I did this because Medicaid is the only insurance many people have in this country. I am blessed. As I stand here now, there's a physician waiting. If something should happen, I will be taken to that physician. I have the best health care in the world. There are other people who have less than I. I would have them have what I have. But I surely will not stand by and see them lose what little they do have. Medicaid is for people who don't have the kind of health care that 435 members of Congress and 100 members of the Senate have. But they do.
Facts.
And all 10 members of Congress in the Democratic Party that voted to censure him do not support single-payer health care, and they are funded by AIPAC. And if that is not the embodiment of where the Democratic Party is today, then I don't know what is, because what they are doing is becoming a fully corporate party so that workers have nowhere to go. And on that very pleasant note, Jamie Peck, welcome to Generational Change.
Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
Wow, that's a good segue. I'm all right. I've been kind of fighting up a cold the past few days, so maybe not watching the news as much as I should have been if I was about to go on a show and talk about it.
No, that's all good. I don't really watch it either. I watch recap. I can't. That's toxic mind poison. But it's very nice to meet you.
You too. I'm glad we could make this happen.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm not sure exactly what you wanted to get into, Peter. There's a myriad of things I know.
Yeah, there is. Of course, everything has just kind of hit us like a big freight train over the last 48 hours. Obviously, there are a lot of places that we can start, but you have been obviously very outspoken. Luigi is going to take up obviously the bulk of our conversation. So I think it's important to get into how we kind of ended up here, kind of the evolution of where the Democratic Party has gone and why we have tried our part to facilitate some type of a change at the local level, as Jen did against Wasserman Schultz. And we all know that the Democratic Party, in terms of its inability to evolve, is infinitely worse than the Republican Party. And so one of the things that we found, or at least I found very interesting, is not the speech that Donald Trump gave. It's the speech that they had Elissa Slotkin, of all people, give afterwards, and the praising of not only Ronald Reagan, but also of W as well. So let's play that quick clip.
President Trump loves to say peace through strength. That's actually a line he stole from Ronald Reagan. But let me tell you, after the spectacle that just took place in the Oval Office last week, Reagan must be rolling in his grave. We all want an end to the war in Ukraine, but Reagan understood that true strength required America to combine our military and economic might with moral clarity. And that scene in the Oval Office wasn't just a bad episode of reality TV. It summed up Trump's whole approach to the world. He believes in cozying up to dictators like Vladimir Putin and kicking our friends like the Canadians in the teeth. He sees American leadership as merely a series of real estate transactions. As a Cold War kid, I'm thankful it was Reagan and not Trump in office in the 1980s. Trump would have lost us the Cold War.
As he's the one who wants to talk to Putin.
In his heart, he doesn't believe we're an exceptional nation.
Because we're not.
Doesn't think we should lead the world. Look, America is not perfect, but I stand with the majority of Americans who believe we are still exceptional, unparalleled. And I would rather have American leadership over Chinese or Russian leadership any day of the week. Because for generations, America has offered something better. Our security and our prosperity, yes, but our democracy, our very system of government, has been the aspiration of the world. And right now, it's at risk.
Yeah, it's at risk of people like her taking over. And let me just say, Jamie, it's really great to have you here. That Elissa Slotkin, she's a really terrible person. Don't ever listen to her. I'm a really great guy, tremendous person. And we are making America great again.
Again. And we know why they picked her, right? Isn't that who they want to go for Michigan? Isn't that who they foresee is running for governor of Michigan?
Well, no, that's who they have as the senator now. And of course, they believe that Miss Googly Eyes, as you like to point out, Whitmer is, well, you
she
ladies.
Got crazy eyes. She's got
crazy eyes.
Yeah.
You ladies can talk amongst yourself about the crazy eyes that certain women have and that they shouldn't be trusted if you see those crazy eyes. And so Whitmer is most definitely going to run for president in 28, despite the trail of horror that she is leaving in Michigan as she goes.
I look forward to that.
What has happened to the party, Jamie?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, just to talk about this speech for a second, right? Like the idea that America's financial and political power and just being the bully of the world is justified by some kind of moral clarity, this like city on a hill idea, that's such fatuous garbage. It just makes me so mad. And on some level, I'm okay with the fact that Trump has left that part out. He's like, yeah, we're not doing this because we weren't supporting Ukraine because we believe in democracy or whatever. We're doing it because we want their rare earth minerals. And how is that controversial? Like he's saying the quiet parts out loud. And I'm like, well, that's not the part about him that I dislike. Sorry.
Yeah, I find this is what's so frustrating to me, much more so about liberals, is that they just hate him to hate him. I was noticing, I was watching Status Quo earlier and they were covering the protest about Ukraine, the situation. They're so upset. And every single person that's protesting this is some very kind of affluent white liberal person. And these are people that truly believe that Putin is the bad guy. Like they've been so capable of believing that. And they're just completely delusional. These people are delusional. And this is people that have nothing better to do with themselves, which is why it tends to be affluent people. But they are not representative of most people. They are just the people that come out and have the time on their hands to be. Anybody who's out protesting for Ukraine has some serious time on their hands.